support classes for kids in all grades. It's a K-8 school. So I get to see a wide range of experiences. And I get to see sometimes a lot of kids from the same family. So I remember toward the beginning of the year, I was working with a 5th grade group, and there was one kid who just wasn't paying attention. He seemed really distracted, and we were supposed to be doing some math. We were supposed to be practicing multiplication. And this child is from an immigrant family. He was born in Somalia, and his parents have very limited English. But finally, I realized I was listening to him trying to figure out his little sister, kindergarten sister's iPad, so that she could start going to school as well. And we haven't been an iPad school really, but none of them had any experiences with any kind of Apple products or anything like that. And he was sort of talking to himself, trying to talk to his dad in their home language, and also trying to sort of follow along with my little math lesson. And I realized how much he had on his plate and how much his family really were lost. Like, we came up with these devices, and even with the laptops that the older kids were given, we came up with these devices. We came up with even hotspots for some of the kids, but helping them figure out how to even get started was really frustrating. And it meant that they were losing learning time, not just the individual kid, not the little sister with her device, but even the older brother, and finally he dragged the oldest middle school cousin from the other room to still try to wrestle with the little girl's device when she was so excited to go to kindergarten. And it just wasn't working out. So it's been interesting. And, she got there. She was actually in one of my groups for support later on in the year as well. So I really feel like so much of our experience with the technology has affected the kids who can least afford to miss that time.
Do you feel like there's an underlying assumption that when someone purchases a device or is given a device and they open it up for the first time, that they already have an underlying understanding?
You hear it all the time. These kids are digital natives. They just have this inherent understanding. They'll just do it. But I could see, for not just kids who are from immigrant families, even kids from middle class backgrounds, even kids, so that there was like a built-in tutorial for it to get started. I was thinking about this the other day, just how could we make it easier? It's not going to probably be translated into all the different languages that we have, Tigrinya and Somali, and languages I don't even know their names. But there's not enough support just to hand a kid a device, or an adult, no matter who you are. Even, I have plenty of background, plenty of, experience. And even so, you give me a new laptop, it's going to take me a minute. I'm not going to be teaching the class, a remote class within the first 10 minutes. I'm going to have to figure some things out. And for kids who have never actually had an iPad before, no matter what the preconceptions are, or I've never had a laptop, they need a lot more support than they're getting.
Yeah. How do you feel this year of COVID and distance learning?
Hang on, there's an airplane.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays, the long guys come. Then it's really fun.
Oh yeah, that's what it's like here too. At my parents' home.
Sorry, I shouldn't be doing phonics lessons when the long guys are here.
What do you think this year this year and a half of distance learning, how do you believe that's impacted kids' emotion? Now, after this year and a half, I figured out technology now. I know I can do anything on a laptop or a desktop, or maybe code, or is it? I'm sure it's. But what are your thoughts?
After this year and a half, really, of online classes, online socializing, online anything, it's been interesting to talk to kids, my students, as well as my own children, just about how their relationship with technology has developed and evolved. And I would say, in the past, if we ever had, I finally got the computer lab or the computer laptop cart for my students, they would be so excited. We're going to do an activity. We're going to type our stories, or we're going to do a math game. And now, once we went back to that minimal amount of in-person learning in the spring, all my students were telling me was, I never want to touch a computer again, even though, a lot of them got pretty adept, and they still had to go. Like we continued to have art and PE and even garden class online. And so they were still having to do it. And it was amazing to me to see how adept these kindergarten, first, second graders, who really, in any other circumstances would know, there's no way they would have been able to do the things that they've done, but they don't want to anymore. They want to use blocks, and they want to read physical books and all of that. But for the older kids, I think it's more of a mixed bag, because they already had more, academic applications of technology that they were starting to work on anyway. Like our librarian does little scratch activities with the kids and things like that. And like my own personal 7th graders never want to go back in person again. They like having everything be digital. But it's, I'm not sure they're necessarily any more confident, because so much is about, so much of what you learn, so much of learning is about the relationships that you have with your peers as well as your teachers. And the opportunities for that, as much as we try, are so limited. Just, I don't care if Miss A is giving me, a not so great score on this assignment, because I don't have much of a relationship with her. I don't have those, those small conversations in passing or anything like that. But they've definitely, I see that they've gotten better at a lot of the skills, the technology skills of various kinds. My own kids were in technology class, and just talking to some of the 7th graders I was working with on math, just the different things they were screen sharing and showing me some projects that they've been working on, and they wouldn't ever have had the time or, the opportunity, like, to have having one-to-one devices the kids can work on at home has actually been really good for being able to say, do video production about something that they're actually interested in. Whereas they previously, if they went to tech class, it would have been me and my tech class for 45 minutes, and now I got to log out and the next person. Not enough chances to practice. They've had a lot of chances to practice, as long as they have the right kind of relationship and support. I think that's positive, but that's not always the case.
That's great. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. This was so awesome. So the rest of your day, are you going to be able to go hiking?
I hope that was helpful.
No, that was amazing. It's great. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and feel free to email me if you have any thoughts, questions, whatever.
Totally. Do you have any preference for?
Are you guys still in Hawaii?
Yes, we are. Yeah. You hear me okay?
I'm trying not to be too jealous.